guys, today I'm going to be sharing with you some of my favorite books of all time, and these are some of the books that I still go back to read when I'm feeling sad or when I'm just not in the mood. And so let's get started. So the first book that is one of my favorites is The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. And this one it has so many good quotes in it. And just to give you guys a summary, I'm not going to go into full depth of the summary, but I'm just going to read what is the summary that they wrote in the book, just to, make this video shorter. Paulo Coelho's enchanting novel has inspired a devoted following around the world. This story, dazzling in its powerful simplicity and soul-stirring wisdom, is about an Andalusian shepherd boy named Santiago who travels from his homeland in Spain to the Egyptian desert in search of a treasure buried near the pyramids. Along the way, he meets a gypsy woman, a man who calls himself king, and an alchemist, all of whom point Santiago in the direction of his quest. No one knows what the treasure is or if Santiago will be able to surmount the obstacles in his path, but what starts out as a journey to find worldly goods turns into a discovery of the treasure found within. Lush, evocative, and deeply human, humane. The story of Santiago is an eternal testament to the transforming power of our dreams and the importance of listening to our hearts. The second book that I really enjoyed during college, in my second year, I was taking a personal peace class, and that time I was like really not in the place I wanted to be, and so when I read this, I was just, it just made me feel so much better, and it really it helps you practice mindfulness and awareness, and it really gets rid of those thoughts that we have in ourselves, that self-hate in ourselves, and I think it's a really good book, and it's Thich Nhat Hanh's Creating True Peace, Ending Violence in Yourself, Your Family, Your Community, and the World. And so the summary is basically, it says on here, best-selling author and Zen Buddhist monk Thich Nhat Hanh is one of the most respected peace activists in the world. Having lived through 2 wars in his native Vietnam, he strives to prevent conflict of all kinds, from the eternal violence of individual thoughts to interpersonal and international aggression. For the first time in Creating True Peace, he tells vivid, deeply affecting stories of his and his students' wartime experiences in Vietnam, and how they were able to remain nonviolent and work for peace in the face of the most stressful, dangerous, life-threatening circumstances. The same teachings and practices that Nhat Hanh and his students use every day can help us too, to create peace in our own lives in every moment. With a combination of courage, sweetness, and candor, Nhat Hanh brings to life the ancient wisdom and stories of the Buddha and other sages, and reveals a clear, practical blueprint for living non-violently today, no matter what your circumstances. For anyone who sincerely desires to create peace, here are practices to improve all our relationships, friendships, partnerships, marriages, even our relationships with our elected representatives. Here too are beautiful, simple meditations and mindful practices for individuals, couples, and parents, along with ways to teach children how to create peace in their daily lives and to improve family communications. From this book, we can all draw the determination and inspiration to do the right thing, to make a difference. We are not helpless. We can create peace here and now. Creating True Peace shows us how. The third book that I really enjoyed was when I was taking anthropology class in college in my freshman year, and it's called Mountains Beyond Mountains by Tracy. And this was a New York Times bestseller and also winner of the Pulitzer Prize. And I think it's perfect for anybody who is, wants to go into anthropology. And it's also good for someone who wants to go into the medical field. This is a great book for you. It's also a great book for anybody who just wants to just be inspired in their daily life. And the summary is, this compelling and inspiring book, now in a deluxe paperback edition, shows how one person can work wonders. In Mountains Beyond Mountains, Pulitzer Prize-winning author Tracy tells the true story of a gifted man who loves the world and has set out to do all he can to cure it. In medical school, Paul Farmer found his life's calling, to cure infectious diseases and to bring the life-saving tools of modern medicine to those who need them most. Kidder's magnificent account takes us from Harvard to Haiti, Peru, Cuba, and Russia as Farmer changes minds and practices through his dedication to the philosophy that the only real nation is humanity. At the heart of this book is the example of life based on hope and on an understanding of the truth of the Haitian proverb, "Mountain beyond mountains, there are mountains." So the fourth book that I really enjoyed so much, because I'm such a fan of young adult fiction novels. I love this book so much, and it's John Green's The Fault in Our Stars. Despite the tumor shrinking medical miracle that has bought her a few years, Hazel has never been anything but terminal, her final chapter inscribed upon diagnosis. But when a gorgeous plot twist named Augustus Waters suddenly appears at Cancer Kids support group, Hazel's story is about to be completely rewritten. If you haven't already read this, it's so good. Another John Green favorite of mine is Paper Towns. This one is so amazing, and it really taught me just a different perspective on life, and that you just have to enjoy the moment and live in the moment and not take any moment so seriously. And the summary of this one is, who is the real Margot? Quentin Jacobson has spent a lifetime loving the magnificently adventurous Margot Roth Spiegelman from afar, so when she cracks open a window and climbs into his life, dressed like a ninja and summoning him for an ingenious campaign of revenge, he follows. After their all-nighter ends and a new day breaks, Q arrives at school to discover that Margot, always an enigma, has now become a mystery. But Q soon learns that there are clues and they're for him. Urged down a disconnected path, the closer he gets, the less Q sees the girl he thought he knew. At the time, before I read this, I was going to counseling, and I really was in a bad place at the time, and my self-confidence was really low, and that was just the most scariest part of my life, and because I was just so scared and so frightened and anxious all the time, and I just didn't have hope anymore in myself and in life. And this book really changed the way that I thought about everything. And I was very quiet and very shy, very introverted, like growing up. And when I was growing up, it was just, being introverted was just not something that was celebrated, and people would either make fun of you, or people would just ignore you, or they're scared of you, or and it was just not celebrated. But this book really celebrates it, and it's really tells you that if you're an introvert, that there's something to be proud of that, and it's normal, and that you can be, there's power in being an introvert. So I'll just read it to you guys, the summary. So at least 1/3 of the people we know are introverts. They are the ones who prefer listening to speaking, who innovate and create but dislike self-promotions, who favor working on their own over working in teams. It is to introverts Rosa Parks, Chopin, Dr. Seuss, Steve Wozniak, that we owe many of the great contributions to society. In Quiet, Susan Cain argues that we dramatically undervalue introverts and shows how much we lose in doing so. She charts the rise of the extrovert ideal throughout the 20th century and explores how deeply it has come to permeate our culture. She also introduces us to successful introverts, from a witty, high-octane public speaker who recharges in solitude after his talks to a record-breaking salesman who quietly taps into the power of questions. Passionately argued, superbly researched, and filled with incredible stories of real people, Quiet has the power to permanently change how we see introverts, and equally important, how they see themselves. So again, that's Susan Cain's Quiet. Next favorite is something, it's really, really heavy. Something that I read during college, and I think I was a junior. I think this might have been last year, called Philip Lopate's The Art of the Personal Essay, an anthology from the classical era to the present. So I love this book because it has so many different kinds of essays, and it's just so inspirational to me because I don't know, I always love the classics, and it has like classic personal essays from the Romantic period. It's just, I think it's a great book to read. If you want to study in English, or if you just love reading, or if you love the classics, it's something to go pick up and read. And I'll read the summary to you guys. So the personal essay offers a feast of individuality, and the art of the personal essay is the first anthology to celebrate this rich and vibrant literary form. More than 75 essays represent this robust tradition, beginning with influential forerunners from ancient Rome and the Far East, and ranging from the mastery of the essayist's 16th century founder, Michael de Montaigne, and the golden age of the English essay, to its variegated outcroppings in Europe, Asia, Latin America, and Africa, and its efflorescence in the United States, with generous selections by writers from around the world, as well as an illuminating introduction by Philip Lopate himself, an acclaimed essayist. The Art of the Personal Essay is a landmark collection of brilliant, discerning, and immensely entertaining writing. So that is Philip Lopate's The Art of the Personal Essay. And then second to last book that I really, really enjoyed was Sophie Kinsella's Finding Audrey. And this one, it's also kind of like Quiet, kind of like Susan Cain's Quiet, about the power of being an introvert. But this one is, it takes a funnier role, it takes a funnier stance, and it's about a girl named Audrey, and she's always she has this kind of social anxiety, and she can't really talk to anybody. She's kind of scared of talking to people, and she always wears dark glasses all the time to kind of hide who she really is. And it's kind of like this barrier between her and other people that she meets. And then she is kind of going to counseling at the beginning of the book, and throughout the whole book as well. And like, her counselor is kind of telling her like, oh, I think it would be kind of beneficial for you if you were to make like kind of like videos, like YouTube videos, but it's not YouTube videos, but it's sort of like that, like home videos, and so she basically makes videos about her family and what they're doing, and she calls it My Serene Family, even though the family is very chaotic, and just the whole dynamic is very chaotic. But it's just so, it takes such a important issue like social anxiety and anxiety, and but it also combines it with humor, and it's just such an enjoyable book, and I really think that it's a good book for anybody, mainly young adults. It's a very contemporary novel, and you'll see that when you're reading it. And Sophie Kinsella is also the best-selling author of the Shopaholic series. So if you guys liked the Shopaholic series, then you'll love this one. I never read the Shopaholic series personally, but I think I want to, but I haven't seen it anywhere, so I probably would have to buy that online sometime. And then my last favorite book is one that I got like in October. I'm not sure when it exactly came out, but yeah, this one is Elizabeth Gilbert's Big Magic, Creative Living Beyond Fear. And I love this one because it's just, it's so true, has so many good quotes. It's so inspiring, especially if you're a writer. I highly recommend anyone to read this one, whether you're a young adult, you're young at heart, it's just, or if you're a writer, it's just the perfect book to read to get inspired and just keep living creatively. And maybe also, if you're not living creatively, it will teach you how. That's it for this video, so thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys liked the video. And if you want more of this, if you want more of these kinds of videos that are either book reviews, or that you want me to do some like favorite books, or you know, book like a book series, then just leave some comments below. And if you want me to do book reviews on any of these individually, then I can do that too. Just let me know, and I'll see you guys in my next video. And stay safe, stay healthy, and just enjoy and live in the moment. And I hope you guys have a great holiday, great Christmas. Thank you so much for watching again, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.